The factory was closed. He was 60, and he told me, now we should see that you get a job, because there won't be anyone to help you continue your studies at the university. I was taken aback. But as days, weeks, months went on, I realized that he was right.
This girl told me, imagine being the parents of this girl who have spent so much time and money in sending her to Oxford and Cambridge, so that today she's doing mediocre interviews online with celebrities. I did not know my granddad, your father, but do you think he would be proud of me? Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Sheen and this is the Dream Girl podcast. So today is going to be a little bit of a different one. Some of you might know me as the podcaster, but before that, I also used to do YouTube videos. And my first ever YouTube video to go viral was with my dad. And it is to tell you the story of how from this guy 100 years ago to me is 5 generations, and he was a slave and I am an Oxford and Cambridge graduate. And this is almost a tribute to all my ancestors, and just to show you the power of thinking about the future and thinking about your future generations. And I just want you to join me in this very wholesome episode and join me in welcoming my own dad to the podcast. Hello,
everybody.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
How are you feeling on a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of excitement?
No, it's okay now.
Okay, so you've done this before. Do you remember the first video?
Yeah.
Yeah? How was that experience of filming that?
It was new to me. At first, I thought it was going to be difficult, but finally, it was okay.
It was fun. Yeah, see? And so, just for context, for anybody who hasn't seen that video, we talked about how 5 generations ago was when our first ancestor came to Mauritius. So, for people who don't know, we are Mauritian. So I'm fully Mauritian, born and raised in Mauritius, which is an island in the Indian Ocean. Very small population of 1.3 million. But we look Indian. So a lot of people assume we're Indian. So ethnically, we are Indian. It's just that we don't associate ourselves with being Indian just because we don't know anything about India. You've never been to India. I've been to India for the first time last month. But let's walk through this. So we've actually brought in a lot of documentation. Okay, so the main gist of the story is that me today, 5 generations ago, was our great-great-great-grandfather who came from India on a boat. And how old was he?
7.
We actually found this document at some point in Mauritius where they were doing some research to show people where their ancestors came from. And we found out that ours came at the age of 7. And can you tell them a little bit more about him?
His father's name was Abdul. He had no surname, but a number. 170591 bis.
What does bis mean?
I don't know what
know.
Bis means.
But wait, he only had one name, right? He didn't have family name or anything. It was just one word, which is?
Gurrib.
Which is now our family name, right? So he's been through the different generations with that name. And can you also explain why he had a number? Why did he come on that boat, for context for everybody? What time was it?
They were brought here as slaves because it was a period of slavery where they wanted people to work in Mauritius, and he didn't know himself where he was going. He was embarked on a ship and he came to Mauritius not knowing what is the name of the country he was coming. And on his arrival, he was given a number.
And this was during the British colony, right? So Mauritius was a British colony at the time. And actually, slavery had just been abolished. So this was in 1856, he arrived in Mauritius, which is after the abolition of slavery, right? And so then they were the new types of slaves that were being transported around the world, where they were called indentured laborers. So technically they were not slaves, but they were treated as such. They were given some sort of salary. And this was our first ancestor who came to Mauritius. He was 7 years old. And isn't that crazy that from him to me, it's 5 generations, right? So from him, we go to the next one, who is your grandfather. What was his name?
Ali Akbar.
Ali Akbar. So we have his birth certificate here. And on here, even you say that his father's name is written as the number of this guy. So that's crazy. And then from Ali Akbar comes your dad.
His father's name was not a name, but a number.
Right. Isn't that crazy? So that was your grandfather. What did he do, job-wise?
He was a tailor.
A tailor.
A self-employed tailor.
Mm.
And it was very difficult at that time because people had no money to get them a good dress.
Mm.
And his work became difficult.
Mm.
That's why you will see the generation following, they did not even try to become a tailor.
The same business, yeah. That I asked you that, right? Why did our grandfather not do the same? So he was born in, what's the year? 1883. That was Ali Akbar, tailor. Then came your dad and my granddad.
Yeah.
Who is Mahmoud.
Mahmoud.
So Mahmoud was born in 1912.
Yeah.
Tell us about him. Tell us about your dad.
In fact, I don't know this period between his birth and when I came here, that is in 1955. But he's the one among those elders that I know most, because he was working at La Bourdonnais Sugar Estate when I was born. I didn't know, I was told. But when I became 5 years old...
What was he doing as a job?
He was a plate layer.
What does that mean?
It is a great word, a big word, but everyone knew him by plate layer. In fact, he was not a plate layer. He was working as an engineer. There were no engineers at that time, and he was in charge of a team of about 12, 13 people. They were laying plates, metal rails, and these were fixed on the ground. So that there was a machine with 20, 25
tons?
Wagon.
Carriage.
Carrying sugarcane from the fields to the factory.
Like a train, right?
Yeah. But it was open at the back, only sugarcane.
Yeah.
Then, as we grew up, we came to know that the job he was doing was an important job for the factory. Because even during weekends, on Sundays, the management of the factory came to see him because one of those machines had turned upside down due to bends, and he had to go and correct this with his workers.
He had a team.
Yeah, he had a team.
So, just obviously the first one, this guy, he was not educated. He was 7 years old. Was your grandfather educated, Ali Akbar? Did he go to school?
No.
He didn't,
No.
right? Fully not educated. What about Dada?
Dada went to school at Bel Air VHS.
Okay.
And last time in one of your videos, you showed his certificates.
Yeah, we have it.
Which were signed by British people who were in charge of those schools. And he had merit in all those classes. In fact, he studied up to standard 4 because there were...
How old is that in standard 4? Like 10?
8 or 9.
8 or 9,
8
okay.
or 9. And he continued till 60. with his job.
And then he retired, right?
Yeah. And
So we have
in
a
the meantime, the factory was closed,
Yeah.
stopped operating. And even after he retired, he was given contracts, small contracts, to go and help the one who came to work after him.
So he was a consultant after
Yeah.
that. So we have a picture of him on retirement
Yeah.
day, right? So this is the picture of him and my grandma. My grandma's called Sarah, just like my sister. And this is them on their retirement day. Tell us about, why did they take this picture?
In fact, they went to a studio to have this photo because he had his lump sum. Not a big one like today. And he went to the bank and they asked for a photo. And to have a joint account, he had to go to a studio, have this photo together, and then open a joint account.
So it was the first time they opened a bank account, a joint bank account.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just because he had in mind anything could happen.
So it was planning.
Yeah.
So then after him came you, my dad. So tell us, you grew up in a village in Mauritius.
Yeah, it was a difficult period.
Gokula.
Yeah, Gokula Hamlet. And we used to have a huge family.
How big was it?
There were 4 sisters and 4 sons came afterwards. And I am the last one.
Yeah, you were the 8th child, right?
8th child.
Yeah.
But when I grew up, 3 sisters were already married. Therefore, there was only one at home helping mom with the household works and looking after us. And as I told you, we were 4 sons. And it was a difficult period.
Why?
My dad was the breadwinner.
The only one.
Only breadwinner. We had to go to school. Fortunately, at that period, there were no private tuition. Paid tuition, I see. And we had the opportunity to finish primary school, go to college, the best colleges, and the 4 of us were able to secure a job in the government.
So after what he's calling college is high school, right? People understand high school. That's what you mean.
The secondary level.
Yeah, secondary school. So after high school, you actually went to university, right? So let's just look at the trajectory again. So we went from people who were not educated, even your dad was just educated a little bit in primary school. And then for you, he kind of like pushed all of you to do education as much as possible. Would you say that Dada was prioritizing education for you guys?
Before we get to the rest of the episode, I just wanted to let you know that we have opened Dubai's only co-working space and podcast studio under one roof. We have this set and this set for you to choose from and customize. You can work from here or here or here, or host your event here or here. Welcome to the Pen by Marina Pearl. You can book using the link in the description box below.
Exactly. It was evident that from generation to generation, they had in mind to allow those coming afterwards to have the occasion to study. Even nowadays, parents have in their minds to push their children so that they have a better future than parents. Even a doctor who is a general practitioner will like to push his children to become a specialist. I think this is a bit normal because they didn't want the coming generations to go through the same difficulties they had.
But he identified education as the way out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. because it was not given to everybody to go to college. We were able to go to college. 4 sons at a time were studying. 2 of us were at primary level and 2 others at secondary level. And when they finished, fortunately, they were able to secure a job as teacher in the government sector.
All 3 of your brothers went into teaching, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they finished. But you didn't go into teaching.
No.
You actually went to university. What did you study at university?
You had only one university at Ridgeway, and I was following a course in mechanical engineering and electrical engineering combined. But I did only 1 year instead of 3 years.
Why?
First, because my dad had to be pensioned off in the factory. The factory got closed. He was 60. And he told me, now we should see that you get a job. Because there won't be anyone to help you continue your studies at the university. I was taken aback. But as days, weeks, months went on, I realized that he was right.
But, obviously this was the right decision. As you said, he was thinking realistically.
Yeah.
Right? But that must be hard. Like, I was just thinking, if I was at university and you told me you need to leave because you need to get a job, that's hard. So how did you process that?
I had no choice. In fact, he brought the application form himself. He filled in the form.
Your job application form?
Yeah. And it was followed, I think, after a fortnight by an interview. And I was given the job. And I started working, having friends, colleagues, and I began to speak between ourselves, and we came to know the problems. They were all practically the same type of problems. There was no money to go to external countries to study. And they were now bringing money to help their families. And life began to change gradually.
So how did it feel when you got your first salary?
It was a great day.
How much was it?
345 rupees.
345 rupees.
Yeah. 2 or 3 days before the end of the month, we were called at the finance sections and you had to sign. And we were paid cash. It was a great day, I say. And we went home. Everyone had to see.
Everyone has to see the money.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that's crazy. What year was your first job in? Do you remember?
Yes, 1974. I joined service on the 8th of March.
8th of March, 1974. Okay, so I started my first job, which was Oliver Wyman, as a consultant in 2021, right? August 2021. How many years is that? 2021 minus 1974.
A bit more than 4.
No, how many?
2021?
Yeah, minus 1974.
47 years.
47 years?
Yeah.
So over 47 years, you earned 345 and I earned 1,000 times of that as my first salary.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Life was not so expensive at the time.
Yeah, that was a good salary for that time.
Yeah. We had to travel by bus from Gokula to Port Louis.
How long was that bus ride?
45 minutes.
Not too long.
One way. We had to get ready well before the bus came because there were no many buses and we had to wait our turn at the bus stop. In the evening it was the same, but in the evening all workers finish at the same time. And there was a lot of pushing before getting in the bus. And the bus was full.
Yeah.
Therefore, it didn't stop along the way. And it was about 35 minutes back home.
So you were in civil service, so you worked for the government for how many years until you retired?
43.
43.
Yeah.
So you worked 43 years for the government. I've been in the workforce for 3 years and I've resigned 4 times. How does that make you feel? People always ask me this.
You know, nowadays it's different, completely different from when we joined service. And now, as it has been said, rolling stone gathers no moss. But Mahatma Gandhi said, only one link in the chain of destiny can be handled at a time. Therefore, you join Oliver Wyman. This is consultancy. Before that, you went to Oxford University in the management. You left Oxford, you left Oliver Wyman. Then you were in a private company.
Then was Khaled.
You moved to Dubai. You left there all through. This is what they say. Rolling stone gathers no moss. But during that time, you had only one link in the chain of destiny in your hand. Then you realize there is something better. Not only financially, but the conditions of work, the job you are doing, and you changed till Dream Girl, podcast, pen. As long as you are satisfied with what you are doing, that's why I didn't influence you at all in it. You asked me my advice, but it was always your decision which was final. And I am of opinion that we have done together is good. Up to now, we have no flaws.
Okay, going back first before we finish this is, do you ever regret not going to university?
Hey dreamers, quick pause from the convo. If you are wondering what the Dreamers Digest is, it's my exclusive online community where I share behind the scenes goodies, lessons from building this podcast, and all the juicy stuff that never makes it to the final cut. If you're not in it yet, check the link in the show notes and come join us. It's 100% free. Also, shocking fact, 89% of you watching this on YouTube right now are not even subscribed. Wild, right? So if that's you, go ahead and hit that button. It would mean the world to me. And now, super exciting news. We launched the Podcast Academy. This is where I've poured everything I've learned from taking this show to 150 million views and turning it into a real business. It's 10 powerful modules packed with tools to help you launch, grow, and actually monetize your podcasts. You'll even get the chance to submit your episode for personal feedback from me and my team. If you've been thinking about starting a show or scaling the one you already have, this is your sign. Click the link in the description box below to learn more. Now, back to the episode.
No, not now.
Not now.
Not even if you... Let's say a few months after, I had no regrets because time was moving. Myself in the service, everything was changing. And now when I meet my friends who are at the university, some of them have done well, but some even had to drop after me, after 2 years. But everyone has his own way. And there's the hand of the Almighty in all this.
So then after you comes me. Okay, so obviously this is the best part of the lineage. But you, from a very young age, for both my sister and I, you've been very clear on the fact that education is very important. So we, both of us, grew up with the main focus being just education. And we both did very well in school. And obviously I ended up going to Oxford and then to Cambridge. And I had a PhD. Did you ever expect that journey? Did you plan for that journey to happen?
Partly yes, partly no. Because my role was when you had already been admitted, Sarah and you, to a British university. Your mum and I had a priority to find funds because studying in UK is not given to everybody. It was when you have tuition fees as high as 700,000 rupees. But fortunately, we had financial institutions in Mauritius who were ready to give loans, educational loans. And this helped us a lot. And now we are free of all these loans now. The repayment has been made. You are now finished with studies and you have jobs. And we are satisfied.
But did you expect Oxford and Cambridge to happen? Or was this a shock?
When you joined Oxford University, it was a 4-year study for a master's. But when you finished your 4 years, I remember we started applying for a PhD in Oxford. And at the same time in Cambridge. And at the same time, we were applying for scholarships. And here again, Almighty decided when partial scholarships were given to us.
First, we got full scholarship for Oxford. We thought we were going to Oxford. Then that didn't work out last minute. And I was then in Mauritius for a gap year. We were just talking about this earlier. Then throughout that, we thought we got another full scholarship. That didn't work out. And then eventually we got partial scholarships. And then obviously both of you then rallied on for the rest of it. But forget the money side of things. Obviously the money side of things was the main part. But I'm talking more about, did you expect Oxford and Cambridge to be part of our history?
You see, Sarah went to Warwick. When he finished her first degree, she had a job as an actuarial consultant. And I started thinking, what will you do? And the only thing that came to my mind, to go a bit further. And when the results came at Oxford, when you had finished the master's, the only degree left was
A
a PhD. Your mum and I realized that there was no other option. Therefore, let's go for the PhD. But I realized at that time that you had your part also in this, because it was not easy. And I still remember when you had to present your thesis. It was COVID time.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I finished my thesis at home because it
Yeah,
was
but you had
COVID. Then I had to go back for the
to
Viva.
Cambridge for the Viva.
Yeah.
But
It was 3.5 hours long.
yeah,
Oh my God. Yeah.
but you see, all this, it was as if an upper hand is pushing us towards all this.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, see, this is the picture of our great-great-grandfather when he was more of an adult. To think that it's because of this guy. You know, when I was in India last month, it was our first time in Mumbai. And I remember looking around, and Mumbai is incredible. You have the mix of the really wealthy and the really poor people. You see poverty around you and you see people struggling. And to think that this could have been our lives. And I remember thinking about this guy then, thinking if it wasn't for him stepping on a boat 100 years ago, if he hadn't stepped on a boat at the age of 7, today I would not be here doing what I'm doing. We would not be in this country doing what we're doing. We would probably be in India, probably still uneducated, probably still struggling to make ends meet. So whatever happens today is the culmination of each of these generations that have done something, that have put a piece of that puzzle together for us. Because if you think about it, the jump that we made from him to me, we can't make that jump for the next 5 generations. There's nothing left for them to jump to. We've jumped to the next jump is very small. That's it. There's not much that can happen. So, and I think this is such a humbling reminder to anybody who is watching today that don't let where you come from hold you back, because where you come from is not your boundary. It is part of you. It is what can take you to where you can go, and you can rewrite your legacy. Like this guy rewrote our legacy today. And now because of him today, I'm online talking about how I'm from Mauritius, and a lot of people don't even know what Mauritius is. But I get to do this because of him. And I think we tend to, like, ego gets in the way, and we think that we've done all of this, we've achieved all of this, but it's not us. It's years and years of sacrifice from people who don't even know us now. Like, he doesn't know us. My granddad doesn't know me. So it's all of these people's work that have culminated into who we are today. And I think this is such a beautiful message. The whole reason I do this video is because I want people to not feel constrained by where they come from or who they are currently, because these people have shown us that every little you do, even if you don't see the impact yourself, but your future generations might. And education was the reason we did all of this, right? And I showed you this the other day. I got a hate comment on one of my videos where this girl told me, imagine being the parents of this girl who have spent so much time and money in sending her to Oxford and Cambridge, so that today she's doing mediocre interviews online with celebrities.
I just told you, when you are doing something, if you feel you are not made for this job, why should you stay there? But on the other hand, your passage at Oxford University and Cambridge has built up something in you that pushes you where you are today. We can't deny this. We are not looking down on other universities, but Oxford is Oxford, Cambridge is Cambridge. And when you go there, you come out with something.
The exposure you get, right? The people you meet.
Yes, and those people, when you are being taught in a room with a lecturer, and 2 of you are sitting here before him for 3 hours. It's not the same. You'll have to come out with something genuine. And when you are, people, they can say she has done a PhD, now this is not what is happening. What is happening is that you have a message for the world. when you have so many fans, and most of these are praising you for the work you are doing.
Of course.
Because you speak on religion, you speak on applying in universities where you have been, you speak on what to do and what not to do when you are in difficult situations. I mean, you are helping other people to find their way. We can't say this is after PhD you are. We don't agree with.
You heard it. Okay, and you mentioned my Islamic content that I do online. If you remember, this all started 1 year ago when it was Ramadan of last year. Before coming home, I told you I had an idea. It was International Women's Day. Why don't I just overlap the two and showcase the stories of 5 women from Islam that we have grown up learning about? And that series did so well. It went super viral. We got 50 million views. And then since then, I have made Islamic content one pillar of my page, right? We consistently do Islamic content. Do you like my content?
Yeah, it's obvious. And when we were young, still young, 4 or 5 years old, we haven't been to Islamic schools. My dad used to wake us up at 4 or 5 a.m. before going to work. He had to go to work early because he was going on his cycle. And after brushing our teeth with charcoal and salt in the dark, because we had no electricity at that time, we had lamps, petrol lamps. As soon as we finished, we sat down on a table, the only one we had at home, and he started giving us our Islamic tuition. Reading, how to pray, how to live in your neighborhood. And this is how we grew up. And then it was my turn to transmit these to you.
You did not wake us up at 4 a.m.
No, because I went to work at, let's say, 7:30 or 8. But you had time at around 6, 6:30 before you get ready to go to school. But the most important thing is that you had a basic Islamic education.
We used to do madrasa in the afternoon after school, me and you.
And during holidays, you also had a holiday.
Yeah, I had time off. But I think this is funny context. The reason you had to teach me madrasa was because I was kicked out of madrasa school. Because I went with my sister and I told the teacher that my sister will teach me and not the teacher. And then she sent me home and said not to send her back. And then you had to teach me at home. But you were my madrasa growing up. And you remember I used to come up with excuses every day not to do it. But I think one thing I'll ask you for the audience is because a lot of people are surprised that I am religious or that I practice the religion, especially in Dubai. A lot of people are a little bit more liberal with the religion, and we see more and more young people. A lot of my friends have stopped believing in God, or they become very relaxed with the rules of Islam. But I am not like that, and people are surprised, probably because I don't wear a hijab, probably because I do this kind of work, so they don't expect you to be religious and practicing. But I tell them that it's because of the way I was raised, and it's because of the way that I was taught the religion, which was always from a place of understanding and from a place of God loves you rather than from a place of fearing God. But what advice do you have for people who are raising kids today? A lot of my friends have young kids. How should they approach raising their kids as a Muslim household so as not to scare the kids?
Islam is a religion which teaches us how to live. It is not made up of, don't do that, don't do that. If you do that, you will get this punishment. No. Islam shows us how to speak to our children so that when they grow up, they know how to speak to elders. They know how to respect elders. Not only this, it teaches you how to dress. And as long as you are wearing a decent dress, but what we see around today, some people are not wearing a hijab. But, we have two categories of people. Some are wearing hijab, some are not wearing hijab. But among these two categories, you have kind people who are helping poor people, who are extremely correct with their neighbors, who stay away from lies, who stay away from backbiting. Even if she is not wearing hijab, even if she is wearing a hijab. But why lose our time criticizing? What we should do, in fact, is refrain from criticizing.
And judging, right? We can't judge.
Yeah. Because in big countries where they are under Islamic law, the Sharia, we have prisons for women. They have done illegal things. We should know how to live with our friends, our neighbors from other religions. If he or she is of another religion, he follows another religion, you can't all day long speak about hijab. Because they have their own beliefs. And in fact, you should always see the positive side in people, what work they are doing, who is being guided with these guidelines. And the world will be a better place to live in.
And I'll tell you, one time I was in Dubai Mall and I heard someone calling my name and I turned around and it was this woman who's a little bit older, probably in her 60s, and she's running towards me. And she was like, oh my God, I was on a different floor and I saw you and I had to come find you. And she said, I just want to say thank you for all the Islamic content that you do online. And she said, I always send them to my kids and I tell them, you need to know all of this about religion. Look, this girl is teaching religion. And then she said, I want you to go home and tell your parents, thank you for raising you this way, because you are helping me raise my kids.
Yeah.
And that makes it all worth it at the end
right.
of the day, because we know that we're doing something good. But one final thing I will ask you. I did not know my granddad, your father, but do you think he would be proud of me?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because he would not be able to comprehend Oxford, Cambridge, all of that would have been...
Without any bit of doubt. My father, my mother would have been very proud of you.
That's all. It's all worth it. Thank you. And any parting advice for any young Muslims or young people who are watching who, might be struggling with being held back if they come from, from where you came from? You went to school without shoes, right? So think of these kids who are going through that today. What advice do you have for them to be positive about the future?
First and foremost, have a deep belief in the Almighty, that He will do everything. A dry leaf does not fall without His knowledge. Therefore, you have to put up your energy and always think that where there is a will, there is a way.
And one thing you always say, whenever something doesn't go right for me, you tell me that just means that God has a better plan for you. And I think that's a very good way of thinking about any rejection or anything that doesn't work.
This will be a part of your life. But still, if you believe in God, what is meant for you will be yours. But what is not meant for you, even if the world joins hands, this won't be for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here again.
Okay, thank you.
I hope this gets more views than last time. Yeah?
Okay.